Okay, I think we are online now. Thank you both of you for joining us. Nand is here, and Govind Anurag, and Arjun is here. Both are old friends of me, and hopefully they will be also friends with each other. You know each other, right? Nand
Yeah,
and
yeah. We met at IMOTC
you met
last
at
time.
IMIT. Okay, that's great. The agenda is to share with the parents and other students about your journey toward the universities that you have been working with. And I think both of you are entering the undergrad program this year, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I can hear from each of you, and then we can take some questions from the audience. They can put it in the comment section. But let's start with Nand. Nand, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, some of the highlights of your profile, so that the parents can also understand, okay, this is the thing that he did, which added value, and then maybe the universities that you got accepted in, some of them which you can talk about, and finally, where you are going if that is decided.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Nand Govind. Uh, so in main, my profile revolves around Olympiads. So I did Math Olympiad, especially in 11th. I made it to IMOTC. I also did Informatics and Linguistics Olympiad. So Informatics, I got a bronze medal at INOI, and Linguistics Olympiad, I cleared for CAM. And um, yeah, so those were my main Olympiad highlights. And then academically, I also did a research project at Chinta, and I also did a few internships, and I help out in certain student run organizations, especially for Math Olympiad. Yeah, so those are my main, those were the things that I did that I believe helped me crack college admissions, especially in UK. Uh, so I was given conditional offers. So I've not yet passed my 12th boards. So
Oh,
all of the offers I get are conditional based on whatever board marks I get. So I got conditional offers from University of Oxford, uh, University of Warwick, and University of Edinburgh.
do you have a preference in the three of them?
Yeah, I mean, I
I
prefer
mean, you may not have, you
Oxford.
may not want to talk about it, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
that you, at this stage of your academics setup, you do have a
yeah,
preference in your mind,
preference. Yeah,
of course.
so I'm leaning towards Oxford. Obviously, I'm waiting for a couple of other colleges who have not heard back from, neither accepted nor rejected yet.
Fantastic.
But yeah, currently at the moment, I'm leaning towards University of Oxford. So
Excellent, excellent.
that's
Is it just to understand a little bit more, and I'll quickly go to Arjun in a moment, but to understand a little bit more, was your decision to apply aligned with your research aspirations, or how did you, decide to apply to so and so universities?
okay. So I think here my future plans did actually play a major role. So UK has the condition that you can apply to either Oxford or Cambridge. And like I'm someone, as I mentioned, I'm passionate about maths as well as computer science. So the course that I signed up, or that I was given an offer for at Oxford, was mathematics and computer science. The fact that I wanted to pursue mathematics and computer science was an option that was provided at Oxford, whereas Cambridge doesn't actually provide a two major degree. Like you have to pick either mathematics or computer science. So that is a
I see.
core reason why I applied to Oxford. So yeah, my future research plans, all of those, do play a major part into college admissions.
Fantastic, fantastic. One last question before I proceed to Arjun. That, a big question in the mind of students is funding. How to fund the undergraduate education and stuff like that. Was it an important question, or like you were not very much worried about funding.
It is an important question. Like even right now, one of the core things that my parents especially are going through in the background is working out how they can fund my education if I'm going to Oxford. UK is slightly more stringent when it comes to scholarships. So
Right.
in my case, it would be slightly difficult to get a complete scholarship at least. So in order to fund my education, I do plan on taking a loan or something. So that is definitely something that has to be taken into consideration when applying abroad, because cost of living, cost of education, everything is higher than it is in India.
Of course, of course. Fantastic. Thank you for that story. Let's go to Arjun. Arjun, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and some of the things that you have done and where you, like, what are the universities you are having in your option list?
Okay. So firstly, I'm really grateful to you, sir, for being my recommender on UCAS application. So thanks a lot for that.
It was a
Uh,
privilege to recommend you. Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, previously, Shani sir's recommendation has also got me to Promise Camp. So uh, I'm also thankful for that as well. And if I begin with, I also
And we will soon find out why. Actually, your the credit goes to you. We will soon find out why. Please tell
yeah.
us about your achievements. Yeah.
Yeah, but recommendations also matter, especially because on UCAS there is only one recommendation as compared to some other places. So the one recommendation matters. So thank you, sir, for that. And that's also one of the benefits if someone joins Chinta, because not only the math they get to do, as Nanda mentioned, there are also research opportunities you get, and then help in the applications also. Uh, and now, if I move on to my profile, I also come from a math background. I had represented India thrice at the IMO from 2022, 23, 24, where I won a bronze, gold, and silver medal respectively. And I got an offer from Trinity College from Cambridge University. So usually, as Nanda mentioned, I already completed my 12th class, so I did not have any conditions on the 12th marks. But usually, their offers also contain step requirements and other stuff. But fortunately, I had an unconditional offer, and I was also fortunate to get a full scholarship there. Um, and for the preparation part, I would actually say the UK universities, they try to like take your test as comparison to the US universities, who are more aligned to how you're writing your essays and your past achievements. So one way to prepare for UK universities, if you want to go in math, is to just do more and more math. And another thing I would suggest people who wish to apply to say Cambridge University, it would be a really good idea to give step 1 year before, because usually you get a conditional offer for your college if you do well in step. So if you have already have a good score in step, that also reduces your stress, and also that would also contribute to your application if you can already show Cambridge that you are so good at step. um, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. I would just to clarify, maybe some of the parents are thinking that okay, both of these kids are superstars in mathematics as far as Olympiads go. We actually have a few others who were unable to make it to the this talk today, but they were less leaning toward Olympiad. So, for example, Nand Govind is went to IMOTC, which puts him in top 35 in India, 40, I think, maybe. And Arjun went to IMO, so IMO Gold. So it's probably top six in India or top three in India, depending on the year. So obviously, these are some parents might think that whoever is listening, these are like exceptional situations. And I do agree that the full scholarship in Cambridge is quite challenging. I mean, it is an exceptional situation, but the kid is also exceptional. It's one of the easiest recommendation letters to write, in fact. So it's so really it is. But I would add that both of them actually showed remarkable initiative in participating in Chinta community as well, which is teaching or helping us, even participating in this in this particular discussion. That's how we, have long-term relationships with students. It's very, I feel very happy about it. One of the question, Arjun, I wanted to ask specifically to you, and that might be in the mind of many parents, is that I personally know that you are from an open school background, like a NIOS background.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
did you think that it played I mean, it's very hard to say in your case because, like, I mean, but even then, I would ask, do you think it played a negative or a positive role in your journey?
So actually, as I mentioned, I'm in open school and I transitioned from regular schooling to open school to focus more on Olympiad math. So I would say if you're in open school, the benefits are that you get more time to focus on other activities, and the examining system is also flexible because you can there you can give on-demand examination. So the exams do not just happen one time in a year. You can also give them in between, which makes it more easier to prepare for things when they are more important. Um, but there are some other things as well because some of the colleges do not recognize the board, and the criteria, they do not have any particular criteria for open schooling as well. So you cannot just evaluate a CBSE and open school student just by their marks because the grading system is very different. So that's it, that also has some disadvantages. So actually, I would say open school is a really nice thing which is happening in India. They are giving flexibility to students who want to focus on other stuff. But I would say if a particular student is oriented to UK colleges, then it would be a better idea to stay in the school and somehow get a relaxation from the school to focus on Olympiad math itself rather than shifting to open school because, as I mentioned, some colleges do not recognize the board, which can cause some challenges in the future. So sometimes what can happen is that your application can get auto rejected because just because the school was not there. So that's sometimes very sad. I'm fortunate that Trinity looked at my application as a whole and just did not reject on basis of that. Yeah, but my suggestion to parents is that if possible, try to do regular schooling, or if in the future, fortunately, if open school also gets into the valid schools of the colleges, then there is nothing better than that.
Right. Excellent. So, I think, is Gunjan also in Trinity? I think Gunjan is also in
Yeah,
Trinity,
Trinity.
right? Gunjan, so you will find a familiar face there already. Maybe you have other friends there as well. So it's excellent. I mean, input. I would go to the uh, question answers from the parents. Uh, I'm already seeing some queries from the parents. For example, let me show Irwin Preet Singh Anand's question. Uh, if I'm Yeah, so inspired to see your phenomenal efforts bearing fruit. One question for Cambridge: is CBSE education not considered relevant? If so, does a CBSE student need to what does he need to do? So, Nand, you are from CBSE. What is your board of education?
I am from CBSE. I applied to Oxford, so I'm not sure about Cambridge, but if I'm not wrong, Gunjan is CBSE. I might be
Gunjan
wrong
is
on that.
CBSE. Yeah, exactly.
Gunjan is CBSE. Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So yeah, I mean, uh, Cambridge does consider CBSE education as far as I'm aware. They because India is definitely a nation that sends students abroad every single year.
Right,
So colleges abroad are familiar with at least the main senior secondary examination in India, which is CBSE, right? So I think they do have conditionals on CBSE. Other than that, at least for Oxford, I know people who did like advanced placement programs and all to get an unconditional offer even before both. So one of my seniors from IMOTC who went to Oxford uh, last year, so he had an unconditional offer because he had already given APs. So if I'm not sure if Cambridge gives a similar option, but I'm aware that Oxford and Imperial both do give such an offer. Imperial is a college that
yeah,
this year has ranked very close to Oxford and
yeah.
Cambridge.
Yeah.
from UK itself. So I know those two colleges at least consider AP programs as another option for your conditional. Like, as in, if you have scored fives in I think three or four AP programs, you could get a direct admission. So if Cambridge does not consider CBSE education, that might be an alternative pathway.
I would like to add one thing. So I had actually researched about Trinity and Cambridge. So definitely Trinity and Cambridge consider CBSE board, and I think pretty much any college in the world would consider CBSE board because it's like the main board of India. But I would suggest some parents to look into the state board thing because some colleges consider the state boards and some do not. So before shifting their say kid to state board or anything, if they have a dream of sending their kid to a particular college, then I would definitely suggest them to research before that. Does that college consider state board or not? Because if I'm not mistaken, one of Oxford or Cambridge does not consider state board, and similar happens for some other colleges in UK. So that's also one thing.
Interesting, interesting. So I would add a question here before I go to more questions. So, especially to Nand Govind because he was taking us like a regular school, if I'm not wrong. Were you attending the school regularly? What was happening there? Because you
I
were doing
was
certain other
not
things.
attending school regularly. I
You were
was not
not.
attending school.
Okay, 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 okay. But you did take care to make sure the school grades are all good, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
I studied like I was keeping in touch with the books, at least NCRT level.
right.
So like occasionally whenever I was like
So
as
then
a
I do have
lighter
a
work.
follow-up question for both Arjun and Nangovind. Since you were both not, you know, regularly going to a place where other kids are available, uh, was it emotionally taxing for you, or did you feel no, this is fine? I'm just able to focus on stuff.
Um,
Arjun, do you want to go first?
okay. So um, actually, my parents never stopped me for playing downstairs. So I would play with the friends in my colony. So that was not a particular issue for me. And regarding the friends and social stuff, sir mentioned, yeah, actually everyone enjoys going to school and playing with their friends. But if you have some aim in life and if you focus on something particular, then definitely you also have to sacrifice some of your fun. But it's not like you finish your life and just confine your life to mathematics. You should definitely daily 1 or 2 hours go with your friends, play something, and rejuvenate.
Excellent. But you did play a little bit, and I think Nand Govind maybe wanted to add that he also
Yeah,
played.
one thing I would say is that playing also helps you perform better in mathematics because there are research proving that it releases hormones like adrenaline in your body, which makes you happy. And there are also researches proving that exercise can help increase your like the speed of your brain, like it can kind of optimize the work you are doing. So definitely, it's also important for your social growth, your mental growth, and general growth as a person.
Fantastic. You want to
Yeah,
add
I mean,
something? Yeah.
yeah. So I also go down to play. I think without a doubt, going down a physical activity does definitely help you. Although I can't cite any research for that. Not want to read such research.
No, there is
But
actually. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. But besides that, one thing that I do frequently is that even if I don't meet people physically at school, friends who I know either from my time until 10th grade, because I shifted to a school where I wasn't regularly going only for 11th and 12th. So I kept meeting my friends who were
I see.
there in my school till 10th grade, and I keep in touch with a lot of people, especially Olympiad circle people online. So like I'll have frequent calls, like almost one every 2 or 3 days. So
Fantastic.
even that
Yeah.
amount of interaction does definitely help. It's never great being shut in,
Of
but
course. Of
you
course.
you talk, you interact, you'll find lots of nice people.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. I'll have another question. What is the right age to introduce children to Olympiad level mathematics or in general challenging problems, unlike school mathematics, and how to go about it, like starting with number theory and so on? So I would that's a great question actually, but I would avoid taking this one in this particular session because this is mainly geared toward the university applications. I'll quickly add one thing that uh, you can start early, but there is no point in cramming things. Just doing interesting problems and not worrying too much about formula would be probably. I think joining early is not a problem, but you can ask this question again, and I'll ask the students to respond in the next session. I think at least Nand is joining in the next one, so probably he will be able to respond. So I will be taking this question surely. It's a great question, but maybe for the next one. Okay. Stanford is better for math. Again, I'll not take this question because at this stage, I mean, at the top 15, 20, I would say it doesn't really matter like that. Let's go to, okay, here is a good question I think many students have in mind. It's, oh, I would say I would probably ask Nand to take it because I never thought Arjun would be taking JE classes. I mean, I never in fact, Nand even I don't know whether did you guys take JE preparation? Did you go for that?
I did. I did. Like I did Olympiads only from 11th, right? So when I started 11th, I had like really no clue what I was doing. So like as typical Indian high schooler, when you start 11th, you like sciences and you're not a big fan. You're more inclined towards math at least, right? You go for JE.
Right, right,
So I did go for JE classes, and honestly, yeah, I mean, um, my initial plan was give JE
right.
and Math Olympiad, we'll just see how it is, right?
Yeah,
But then Math Olympiad was something that I kind of found a passion for it the deeper I went into it, right? So when I first prepared for IOQM in 11th, I was like, oh, this seems nice. This is like better problems than whatever I'm doing in JE. Because JE was algebra, not cool, right? So then I started liking more Math Olympiad problems, and as time passed on, I became more inclined towards Math Olympiad. And then when I cleared InMo, after that point, it was like, oh, you know what? I did this far in Math Olympiad, and I have CMI as a backup now. Like no matter what happens, I get to go to a pretty good college for mathematics, right? So
right.
then I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me take a risk now. I have backup colleges, and like because of that, like one of the things about my college application is that, especially to US, I've not applied to any safety colleges. I've like only applied to top tier colleges because like I was like, rather than spending a lot of money going abroad, like I have a safety college, and that was the entire perspective of going
Ah,
for Math Olympiad side. Get a safety college. Then after that, it's your aspirations only.
right, right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's
So you did not take the JE finally? Did you take it or not?
I gave mains like
Oh, you gave
I
means okay,
gave,
but it
I
was not
gave
at
January
that
mains
time. It was not like the main thing that you were doing.
main thing. Yeah,
And
yeah. And
Arjun,
like
did
I'm not
you?
even giving April or advanced.
Oh, okay. You're not given that.
I
Arjun,
did not take JE classes.
okay. So matter is closed. All right, that's fine. All right, but yeah, I mean, it is like as Anand pointed out. At a certain point, you find out that okay, you really like doing mathematics, and then probably. But I have seen students who have done both. Very exceptional situations. There are students who have done both. But if you find something that you really like in this world, you can just focus on it and have a good time with it. It's not a big deal. So I will not take a lot of other questions here. If I you can send it to helpdesk@chinta.com. I will forward them to both of these and other kids who have been joining, who have gotten into these colleges. I just want to finish by adding, that we are doing some pretty exciting projects. Like yesterday only, I was talking to Srijit about a solar energy thing. Basically, they are trying to create a machine learning model to track the solar energy that is coming to a particular position in the world, and then sell that data to companies which are really using weather data all through the year, especially so green energy companies. So there are quite a few projects like this. So to Nand Govind or Arjun or anyone who is interested in such projects going forward in the undergraduate years, uh, it is, I mean, we will be in touch, but it will be a great opportunity to work on something like real world, something like that. Okay, and have some fun with it. And I think either in Oxford or Cambridge, I'm not sure, Professor Bronstein is there, who is working on hyperbolic geometry in the domain of deep reinforcement learning. So it's a wonderful uh, collaboration of pure mathematics with applied sciences. So if any of you want to look into it, Google it, figure it out, because you'll be probably meeting the person and you can find out more. But at Chinta also, we are in our own small way trying to learn it. So if you are interested, we can also talk about that. All right, lot to do. Thank you guys for coming in, and it was awesome to talk to you. I'll take the other questions by email. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Take care.